Hello, awesome teachers! Today we're going to go through this ecosystems breakout of the classroom digital version for this crazy new time we have in education. So you might be watching this video because you're considering buying this product, and that's great. You might be watching this video because you have purchased this product and you need to know how to use it effectively in your classroom. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to use this product and some things to kind of look for with your students. The goal of this is for students to have a little bit of fun in their day, which is really tough during this time. It's also to review all of the concepts that they need to know from an ecosystems unit. So specifically, if you use any of the other ecosystem related products in my store, especially the whole unit, this will review and go over absolutely everything from that ecosystems unit. It is designed after what students need to know from the Virginia SOLs, the 5th grade test, and the Common Core Science 5th grade test. So it's a great review at the end of an ecosystems unit. It's also a great review before getting into an ecosystems 7th grade unit. So without further ado, that's our goal, is to have some fun, to review some science. Let's begin. Okay, so before we get into the technical details of how to share this and how to make different copies and things like that, I want to talk about how I would present this to my class. So I would, ahead of time, make sure I've done this step that I'm going to go through in a second, where we're making different copies and assigning them to teams. But when I have my class on Zoom, I would say, we're going to do a breakout of a digital classroom, and you're going to try to solve a series of clues to get a digital pet's name and species. So you're trying to figure out what that pet is going to be, and you're figuring out what that pet's name is. So all they're doing is emailing you a name and a species at the end of this. That's their takeaway. A cool kind of side idea is if you have a digital classroom, like one of those cartoon things, you can absolutely add this digital pet into that digital space. Just a fun idea. Okay. So really important before you get started and before your students tackle these clues, because this is an interactive product, you must make a separate link for each team that you intend to work on this breakout at the same time. You can do this by creating a copy and assigning it to one group, and then copy another group, and so on and so on. I kind of recommend having maybe 4 different groups in one classroom, but it's up to you and your students. If you forget to do this step, it's not like the whole thing is going to break down. It's just that one of the puzzles is already going to be solved when the students arrive at that puzzle. Something a little bit different about my product is it's intended to be shared with one team of teachers. So by purchasing this, you have license to share it with everyone on your team. I understand how team planning works. So how to set this up the easy way: the first thing you want to do is delete all of the how-to slides, just like it shows here, and then you want to click the yellow share button. You want to click copy the link, and you want to share it on your Google Classroom. So you see me here, I'm highlighting all of the help slides beforehand, I'm deleting them, I'm clicking the yellow share, I'm clicking copy link, that link will be copied, and then I would go to my Google Classroom and paste that new link in. Remember, this is a separate copy for each group of students. An important concept of my escape rooms is also that not everyone gets a juice box. This is intended for upper elementary, like I said, 4th, 5th, or 6th or 7th grade. Part of my escape room values is having a prize, but only for the first place team. I set the idea early that we win with respect and lose with dignity. Set the expectation early that prizes will only be given to the top team, and that participating in the activity was worth it even if you didn't win. This really helps build up that rigor in your classroom, and something that I see a lot of value in with escape rooms, and is very important during this different learning time. I love using homework passes as a reward and highly recommend it as a prize for the first place team of this escape room. It's also very cheap, so you don't have to keep buying candy or whatever else for like a supply box. This is the answer key, so feel free to come back here, make a copy for yourself. It shows where each of the clues goes to. So the first clue is the card clue. It's going to go to where we store books. Then the next is a Dakota clue, which leads to the closet, and so on and so on and so on. This is the first screen that your students are going to see, hopefully, on their Google Classroom when you assign it to them. This is the fun intro story that the students read to themselves before they start solving the clues. So it says, your teacher shows up to school one day announcing that you are going to get a new class pet. You look around excitedly, but don't see one. So then students will push the space bar to go to the next slide, just like they're presenting any slideshow, to get to the next part of the story. Then your teacher announces she will not release the name and species of your new class pet until you solve a series of clues. So that's why we're solving this scavenger hunt. Be careful, she says. There are a lot of decoy clues. You don't want to fall for the wrong one. Make sure that you look through the classroom using clues and don't click randomly. One thing to note, some of her clues are interactive and you need to be not in present mode to move the cards around. To get here, push escape. That means on your keypad. So basically what this means is sometimes you'll need to present the slideshow and sometimes you'll need to be not presenting the slideshow. So an example of not in present mode, you see how it says not in present there? That's because you need to be able to move the cards around. Some computer skills to go through first is showing how to make the cards bigger or smaller to read the text easier, bringing it to the front, dragging and dropping the cards around. Students will use different strategies, and that's good. We want them to be developing their computer skills. So they can copy and paste, they can make a new slide, they can work together, they can solve the whole thing on a piece of scrap paper if they want to, and do the whole thing in present mode. Any strategies are good as long as they're working together, they're doing this effectively. So when searching in the classroom, you will need to be in present mode. So you're clicking that present button, just like you're presenting any slideshow, at the top right corner of your screen so that your slideshow is in full screen. That's it. That's the most complicated part of this. Good luck and see if you can figure out our new class pet's name. So for this clue, you're going to need to exit. You're going to put them in order. So you see here, this one says start in the top left corner, so that's where we start. And just to show you how students would solve this, they would read it says, this is living things in an ecosystem, includes plants, animals, and decomposers. So then they're trying to find the answer. That's biotic factors, and they line it up with the arrow. So you see that says look now, because the letters on the bottom right say L-O, and the next one say OK. So they put them all in order, and it's going to tell them where to go next. I'm going to skip solving the whole thing because I think it's better for us to see how to use the answer key as the teacher. So from here you see the card clue says look behind where we store books. So I'm in the classroom, I put this together, look behind where we store books. There's no bookshelf in this part of the classroom, let's keep going. When you're finished, you're going to click on that teacher for the 4-digit lockbox code, but we'll get back to that in a second. You'll notice there's no bookshelf in this part of the classroom either. Let's keep pushing that space bar. There's a bookshelf, let's click on it. Voila! The next clue appears. So for this one, it might take a second to load, it's a decoded clue. So you're going to use the answers, you're circling what it is in the answer, and then you're using that letter to solve this picture on the bottom of the screen. So students really have to use their critical thinking skills, they're circling those letters, and then they're figuring out where to go next. Once they have that answer, they're going back to the classroom, and again, I'm not going to solve the whole clue with you right now, but let's take a look at that answer key. So that next clue goes to the closet. So we're going to our classroom. No closet here. Ooh, is that a closet? I don't know. Is that a closet? So you click on any one of those closets and it will work. And I'm seeing, oh, it's not working with the clicking. The code must be 4501. This is sometimes a time when students get frustrated because they're like, it's not clicking and going anywhere. They, again, need to use those critical and creative thinking skills, click on the teacher, realize they have a 4-digit code. What they're doing here is they're entering that lockbox code, 4501, that's found on the closet. They're entering their email address. I'm just entering a random, not real email address. 4501 is the answer, and nothing will appear if the answer is correct. So it says, congratulations, you have discovered that your teacher is giving you a goldfish as a classroom pet. Now you need to figure out what your classroom pet's name is. Use the dichotomous key found at, and so it's appearing. Huzzah! Our dichotomous key clue is here. So we now know that our animal is a goldfish. I'm trying to get it to appear. We know it's a goldfish because it said that. And so we're using that to answer these questions. So I'm answering the questions. I'm answering it's not a reptile. Is it a fish? Yes. So I'm looking under the teacher's desk. So again, back in present mode, I'm going to go find the teacher's desk. I'm clicking on it. It's bringing me to my next clue. Vertebrate, invertebrate. So for each of these animals, you're circling whether it's a vertebrate, invertebrate, producer, or non-living. As you circle it, the letters will tell you where to go next. We could sit here and solve this whole clue together, but I know how limited teacher planning time is, so let's go back to the answer key. Again, it's helping you find the resources of where you need to go with your classroom too. So dichotomous key, we have a goldfish. It's leading us to the teacher's desk. That led us to vertebrate, invertebrate. We're going to the teacher's chair. Again, back in present mode. We're clicking on the teacher's chair. There it is. It's going to bring us to this clue. For this one, we are circling the all of the correct answers for each of them. This is probably the most challenging clue in the entire puzzle, so students have to select each of them. They definitely need to work together as a team, especially if they're in 4th or 5th grade, to solve that one. And it says, look in the back wall of the classroom. So this is clearly the front because the teacher is standing there, the teacher desk, the whiteboard. This also doesn't look like the back because there's a door. That doesn't really lead to anything. This says back of classroom board. Student of the month is Jorge. So you're clicking on that. That's going to lead you to this clue. Circle whether the following is a physical or behavioral adaptation. Very similar to the other clues. They're circling it. They're getting the right answer. Let's take a look at that answer key. They are going to above the door. So again, presenting. We're looking in our digital classroom. Above the door. Boom! Our final answer is here. Congratulations. The new pet's name is Jaws. And you will only get this, that the pet is a goldfish and its name is Jaws, if you follow the clues correctly. I want to kind of show what happens if you don't follow the clues perfectly correctly. So let's present. Let's say you're a student, you don't want to do the work, and you just randomly click around. Notice that there's extra numbers because there's supposed to be like fake clues. If I click on things that I didn't solve, it will lead me to a decoy clue. So these clues either don't lead anywhere or they lead to the wrong location. So just be mindful of that if students are just clicking randomly around, there are also fake names and fake species in the digital classroom. So if they come back with the wrong answer, like Apollo is one of the options, note that they weren't solving the whole thing to the best of their abilities. Hopefully this helps. They should be emailing you to kind of recap that the new class pet is a goldfish and that its name is Jaws. Thank you so much for your interest in this product. Have a wonderful day. You are awesome.